So I finally got to meet you. Why are you here? I was just here to put on a happy face and watch this new video. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your friendly neighbourhood weeb, the Eisenberg here. And I'd just like to take a couple minutes before I start this video to say I'm very grateful for 64 subscribers. Thank you all for joining me on my day-to-day grind of being on YouTube. So, yeah, with that out of the way, I'd like to talk to you about episode 15 of Dr. Stone, the culmination of 2,000,000 years. Now, I hope you guys don't mind seeing my Switch and my smart meter in this video. It's just obviously because I've not had time to properly kind of crop the photo, so it just kind of shows like that, but without obviously my Switch in the bottom. So the grand bout finished in this episode, and Senku was made the winner of the whole tournament because Chrome had passed out from his fight in the previous episode. So everyone was like, well, what do we do now? And also before that, Genro got the wrong idea. He he got into his head that he could become the chief of the village because not Medi's from Mummy Sakai. Put him on a second. Ruri, the lassie pictured here. He thought that she said that she would marry anyone because she wasn't bothered about the whole marrying the winner of the tournament. And he was like, there was one scene before all the serious stuff started that he was going hammer and tong at Senku with his staff, and he was like, pa 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 pa, and Senku's like comically kind of dodge all his attacks, and everyone's like, what's going on into Genro? What's going on to him? And he's going absolutely, obviously hammer and tong. He's like getting really mental with the, as I said, with the weapon. I don't actually remember what actually happened, but I think that Genru actually lost. And Senki moved on to the semi-finals and, well, sorry, the final. And then because obviously Chrome was out cold, it was automatically given to Senku, like I said earlier. And so Senku like, bring me wine, and they did. And it was like, we've let it sit for so long that it's become vinegar. And I was like, Senku's like, oh, we can use that as well. And obviously Senku wanted to get back to create the all cure drug to save this lass. But because they wanted to celebrate with Senku by drinking through the night, they stopped them from going back to create the drug. So Senku turns around and the group grab the vinegar and the wine and he'll go, well, if that's the case then I divorce. And they run off. And Ruri's like, guess I'm the first priestess that's been divorced. Now they managed to. Obviously, sorry, this is the rest of the village when Genro was like, well, I'll become the chieftain and do this, that, and the next thing. And they're like, let's not let him get the position. Yes, so there was some mistakes when they were making the cure-all drug. Senku had done the wrong combination with some of it, and all his equipment blew up. Well, the stuff he was putting the stuff in, the jars and that. So they eventually made the cure-all drug, and they were like, oh, we're going back into the village. And the sorcerer guy, he basically said he wasn't allowed back in the village. So he thinks he's like, we'll have fun waiting in my lab. Well, their lab. And then they walk off, and then like sorcerer guy turns around and walks into the main lab part, and he's like, oh, and it turns out actually Senku was able to make cola for him, and then obviously Mecha Senku popped up again to give us the recipe for making our own cola. So yeah, it's a shame I didn't get to write that down so I could make it myself. But anyway, there was a point where they thought that the drug didn't work, because Senku had figured out that it was water in the lungs, because he had done an autopsy on a dead rat, and he recognised the same conditions in Ruri. And he's like, he says they went back to where Ruri was obviously still coughing up blood, and obviously with that description, you all probably know what Ruri had. If you don't know what she had pneumonia, and Senku was like, I'm surprised that she was able to survive until she was 18. And he obviously is like, well, obviously that's because Kohaku brought hot spring water to her every day until obviously that day they cured her. So yeah, big spoiler, they managed to cure her. And basically, like everyone, the guys in the clan were like, oh, she's gonna die, how dare you, you fed her something that'll kill her. And Senku's just basically sitting at the door, and he's like down on one knee as if to say, I take full responsibility for it. So one of the big guys in the village grabs him by the neck. The way they were going, the village wanted to probably destroy the drug. And I'm like, well, why the hell do they want to do that? But before they could do that, Kohaku jumped in front and saved Senku's hide by blocking the hit, obviously. And she's like, no, this is not sorcery, this is science. And then all of a sudden, obviously, they realised it was, because I think because it's the way that the Senku's group of pals were describing it to the other villagers, they actually realised, and it's like, that's quite good. So the big twist at the end of the episode was one of the village elders, he raised Senku's hand and said, I now proclaim Senku village elder of Ishigami village. And Senku's like, Ishigami village? And then Ruri's obviously behind him, and she says that, yeah, I've always known your second name. Your second name is Ishigami. And it's like, right. So there's that whole mystery that's come up yeah. So it's the whole mystery that's come up that that village is called Ishigami Village, and it's like, I think who got something to do with it? Did his dad slash grandpa build it way back? So yeah, there's obviously that to contend with now, because that's obviously the next story arc. Senku finding out about why this village is here and why it's called Ishigami Village. I'm thinking it's to do with his grandpa slash dad. So yeah, I mean, I guess we'll find out what it truly means when they decide to show us in the anime. Yeah, so to round this video off, episode 16 has the title, A Tale for the Ages. So I'm taking it's going to be filler for Senku and his grandpa. I'm thinking that it's going to be something along the lines of Senku's, let's call him grandpa until we find out truly what relation he was to Senku. I'm taking it'll be the backstory, as I said, to do with Senku's grandpa finding the village and the original ancestors of said village, him building the village, helping it get to where it is now, and then obviously he couldn't go back to see them because obviously he had passed on. Obviously, yeah, because it's been since then, since Senku, that's actually quite sad. It's been nearly 2 million years since Senku's last seen his grandpa. When that hits Senku, that will change him. Because obviously he's not been able to grieve with his grandpa passing. Probably. I'm just plucking at straws here for a possible character development for Senku. But anyway, as I said, we'll find out in whatever episode they choose to show it in. Yeah, so I shall see you guys and girls in this episode number 16, which is called What It Is on the screen now. And as ever, I shall see if Chibi Reviews has done a review in this. He probably already has. You'll be able to find a link to his review in the description box down below if you just click on it down below this video, if you want to. But without further ado, I'll end the video here, and I'll just say again, no matter what happens, always stay shining gold. And now, I think I deserve a cup of tea, because my throat is dry from doing this review. So hope you all have a good evening, and a good rest of your night, and I'll see you next time.